Hello there, and welcome to the Outside Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz that there's no tomorrow. This week, we're talking about films ruined by expectations. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host, Sean.
Hey, yes, ruined by expectations. Yes. So
Yeah, this is something that we haven't. It's been so long since we've done a video that hasn't been on like a new release, and we were going to do Kingsman this week, but you couldn't watch it yet, so we're going to try this instead. So yeah, I'm excited for the Batman, like loads of films, but you know, sometimes you can be so excited, sometimes you can build up expectation in your mind that those films are ruined by it. So I've got a list of 12 films, or 12 like franchises, some
12
films to discuss. But before we start, I want to say these films aren't necessarily good or bad. The idea is that these films were ruined initially by the expectations that people put on them, mostly because of their hype or because of like the films that came before them. It's not to say that we didn't like them or that they haven't improved through the passage of time. You know, it's not to say there aren't any bad films in here, because there definitely are. So I'm going to start off. The first one I've got on my list is the Terminator sequels.
Oh.
After Terminator 1 and 2, none of the other Terminator films are as good.
Yeah, come on, like 1 and 2, they're masterpieces. Like how much, work is put into that. But the other ones are just like, what? Like Terminator Genesis. Oh God.
That could be the worst one.
Yeah, that could be the worst one. Like, how much potential that was going to have. Like when I saw the trailers. When did it come out?
It came out in 2015, yeah. So
wow.
I think Terminator 2 came out in the 90s. And since then, we've had 4 other sequels. And it's very like every single sequel, what it tries to do is reinvent itself. So like Genesis is this weird one where they go into the future and everything's changed. And they've got to like stop Skynet, and they always do the same thing with an old T-800. They always bring back Schwarzenegger so they can do the good T-800, and it just feels like after Terminator 1, which was like such a cool film, and then Terminator 2 completely flipping that on its head, making the bad guy the good guy, and having this kind of commentary on machines and emotion. After that, like, what does it have to say anymore?
I just feel like that now it's just using for action. I mean, there's a lot of action in the first 2, but it was the story that was developing, like with the huge flip with the robots, like fighting them together, and it's like crazy, and having really good set pieces. But then the other ones are just like lazy, nothing too, creative what they're going to do with the story. I mean, like Genesis, like I have no idea what their aims was for this film. Like, I guess it was a cool concept, going to a different timeline into it, but then it just went to a huge mess. Like, what are they going to do with John Connor? And then he just like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. John Connor's the bad guy. That's so weird. They do this like the idea that they go back into the past and we see it from Kyle Reese's perspective and everything's different. That's like an actually cool idea. But then after that, it gets so messed up with like, as you say, John Connor being a Terminator and stuff.
In the trailer, they even showed him being the bad guy.
Yes, that's what, ever since they did this for Terminator 2 as well. They showed the T-800 was the good guy. They keep on spoiling the best, like the big twists in the trailer for some reason.
God, why? It's so annoying. Like they did it with Eternals. They even spoiled that with the emergence thing. But yeah,
yes, they did.
With the other one, Dark Fate, was it called the
Dark Fate? Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, not gonna lie, that was decent, I guess.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was too bad. I haven't seen it since, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was good, but the one thing that I didn't realize is that it completely ruined the whole point of Terminator 2. Like trying to save John Connor, but then he just got completely shot
in the first scene of the film.
Yeah.
I remember when they announced they're bringing back Edward Furlong, who played young John Connor, and he's literally just in that one scene as a little kid and just gets like killed straight away. It's insane. Wow. Without James Cameron being like a big part of the film, none of the sequels have really and all of the sequels, so Salvation, Genesis, and Dark Fate were all supposed to have sequels. Like they were supposed to be trilogies. So we would have had a Salvation trilogy, a Genesis trilogy, and a Dark Fate trilogy. but they never made them all because they didn't make enough money and people generally didn't like them.
Oh wow, yeah. So we don't hear about the Dark Fate trilogy. I was like, oh, okay, good film. Then I just
Yeah,
never
because
heard.
doesn't it end with the war in the future still happens? Like there's now a new war, but it's not against Skynet, it's against like a different
Yeah,
AI, right?
it is a different AI. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
very
man.
weird because it's a cool concept that the past is like, still changing the future, but they changed it with something else. But yeah, Terminator franchise, it was a mistake. Like after the second one, what were they thinking? Like, come on. Like, I guess it's good for action, but just think about story wise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no ways to make it fresh. And I think the thing is that every time you go into a Terminator film, the expectation is that it's gonna be, at this point, I guess it's just that it's gonna be another pointless sequel. But at the beginning, when they made Terminator 3 and 4, it's like, okay, are they gonna make something that's genuinely as good as Terminator 2 or 1? How are they going to evolve that? And then they haven't evolved it. They just keep on doing the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah. It's just so lazy.
The second one on the list is the Matrix sequels. So there's a lot of
Oh,
sequels and prequels
yeah.
in this. But yeah, so
Yes.
the Matrix sequels is such an interesting one because the Matrix, everybody loves the Matrix. But when it comes to the sequels, even as recently as Resurrections, it's so split. People either love it or they hate it. And there isn't like, people can't agree on it.
It's very divided. The people like the Matrix sequels are so good, and like, oh no, it's bad. When I was with my friends, we were just talking about the Matrix. We're like, oh, the sequels, yeah, the sequels, they're good. And then one person's like, what? What do you mean? They're terrible. They're like, what the heck was that with the twins and with the whole stupid limbo thing? And I'm like, what?
Definitely. I mean, it's because the first film, it changed the game for this genre, action sci-fi, and it brought up some interesting concepts. It made everyone kind of think in new ways, and it was fun, and the action was amazing. And since then, they haven't lost that, but they have gone deeper into that concept, and they've started doing, especially Reloaded and Revolutions, and I guess the first half of Resurrections, they're all commentaries on, this kind of philosophical question, and in a way they comment on the public reception on the first film. And I think people expect, when a new Matrix film comes out, people expect that first film, they expect it to be exactly like the first one, and whenever it tries to carve its own identity, I feel like that's when people kind of push back against it. If anything, I think the things that the new one does, Resurrections, I think if anything, the best part of that film is the new stuff, not when it tries to copy the original, if that makes sense.
Yes, it was going to the meta path of the film.
Hmm.
Like, oh my god, you guys need to make a fourth film, the fourth Matrix film, and then taking jabs at Warner Brothers and like having a new story, like trying to save Trinity, but it didn't have the same magic, I mean, like with the green tint and like the unevenness of the Matrix.
Release the green tint cut, please. Somebody.
Release the
Somebody
green
put that
tint.
green tint on it. I miss
Yeah,
the
release
green.
the
But
green.
I guess that's the point though, isn't it? I guess the point is that it's a glossy sequel, soft reboot, just like what Hollywood make all the time these days. If you think it, like, people point this out online, but we are in a year when Tobey Maguire is back as Spider-Man. There's a Matrix film out. Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are coming back as Anakin and Obi-Wan. There's going to be a new Wallace and Gromit film. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's just, we're back in the past, even like there's a Top Gun film coming out, a Jurassic Park film with the original cast. Everything is, it just feels like what the Matrix sequels are doing so well is that they understand that we're never going to be in that world where everyone flocks to go and see this new concept at the cinema. The Matrix wasn't a well-known IP, so people went to see it just because it was like new and interesting, not because it was a sequel or anything. And I feel like that was such a surprise to everyone that there was no way the sequels could match the insane expectations that people had in their hearts.
Yeah, and it's a bit hard, like, because the film came out like 18 years and a half since Resolutions, right? And
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and it's like building up that tension, like, oh, what are they gonna do with that? This whole new Matrix. Then it just dissolved even quicker in Resurrections.
Yeah, the third
Matrix.
one, Matrix.
The Matrix.
Third one
Yeah.
that I've got is the Star Wars prequels. Now, this is
What?
maybe the
Okay.
most interesting one on the whole list because the first Star Wars trilogy was a cultural moment. I wish that I
Yes.
was alive to see those films at the cinema because, my God, the popularity, especially in America, the popularity was insane. Everyone loved it. It was a time when it was pioneering, for space fantasy films, for action. It was like Star Wars and Jaws were the two films that were just like, bam, this is what the modern blockbuster is. And this is basically crafting that notion forever. Empire Strikes Back defined what a sequel is, the dark chapter with an insane twist at the end.
Insane.
Then the prequels came out and the hype was insane. Again, I would love to have been there. The hype was insurmountable and people didn't react as well to it. I mean, these days, the love for the prequels is everywhere. I love the prequels. I have loved the prequels ever since I was a kid.
The prequels, come on.
Exactly. But that love has only come from people who are beginning to accept the prequels aren't the originals. They are never going to be the originals. And that expectation is why I think that originally the prequels weren't liked very much. You think about the first films are like about a ragtag group of rebels, who are coming to fight up against an evil empire. And you have people, with revelations about themselves and their heritage and, a small farm boy becoming like a great warrior. And the prequels are more like political about Palpatine easing himself into government and the Jedi having lost their way. It's so different. And people weren't ready for that, I don't think, in 1999.
And the prequels, I mean, like, there's a lot of love into this film, like, because of the memes, like,
yes,
with I have the high ground, and then like, oh, hello there, and then got like those iconic stuff in there. But generally, it's an enjoyable trilogy, to be honest. Like, with lots of stuff like, I hate sand. I don't like sand. And
it's coarse, rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
There's some great stuff, to learn about with the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. What to learn from more about, how a Jedi, got twisted by the dark side and, slowly built up to be Darth Vader. It's really, really good. And the soundtrack, come on, the soundtrack for Duel of the Fates.
I mean, come on. Yeah, like there's so many elements that, the lightsaber duels, the effects, so many things that was so good and went so far, but heavily criticized, the pacing and the dialogue and the fact that it critiqued the Jedi. The Jedi were not good people. You see even more in the Clone Wars show, but the Jedi were not the symbol of, the defenders of peace that they pretended to be. They were muddled by bureaucracy and eventually became warriors who were, if anything, perpetuating the Clone Wars conflict. And it's pretty insane, how George Lucas did something so, obviously he shouldn't have had such reign. Like, I'm sorry, but somebody should have helped him out on that dialogue.
Yeah.
I love the memes, but the dialogue, there you go.
Yeah, I think someone needed to work on the dialogue a bit more. And characters. I mean, you got Jar Jar.
Oh, Jar Jar. I would do an impression, but I don't have the heart to do an impression.
I don't want to do. I do not want to hear an impression, Tom. Listen, I've been doing the impression, and I realized, the pain. Like
you've just been sat in your room alone doing the impression, trying to understand.
So sad. That sounds so sad. Like me sitting in the middle and be like, the Jar Jar. I'm not going to do the impression. And
well, I've recently been reading a book, and I know a book, and in this book, it's called Master and Apprentice, and it's about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and it's amazing, by the way. 100% recommend you read it. It really recontextualizes a lot of things about Phantom Menace, but there are scenes with Yoda in them, and I'm just so tempted to do the impression, but I'm not good at it. I'm just like that, I can't do this.
Wait, can you do Yoda or not?
No.
Ruined my expectations, the prequels were.
That's all you're getting. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Expectation ruined by prequels.
I don't know.
It's not bad. That's not bad. Well done.
It's not bad. I can't do the other impressions. But Jar Jar, I'm not going to do. I'm not doing Jar Jar.
No,
if this video gets 100 likes, I will get a Jar Jar impression in front of the.
Hey, we're still waiting on Poetry John. I don't think this is ever going to get 100 likes. I posted something on Twitter. I posted something and it got loads of likes. And so I put I replied to it and I was like, thanks for liking it. Check out our podcast. And somebody actually said, somebody replied to it and somebody else was like, you actually listen to their podcast? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. Oh no. But Yoda is actually a really interesting because he is nothing like he is in the original trilogy. People expected him to be this wise old, like kind of like hermit-esque, like wise old master. And he was that, but also he was like a badass who flips around with his lightsaber and is just like killing like people left and right. And he goes really intense at some points. And I think all of this is intentional to the film, but not exactly what audiences wanted.
Yeah, I guess it was going for a different approach with Yoda in the prequels. I mean, it was good to see like more of it, like, what he was going to do with the Jedi Council. But then it just went, crumbling away because of Palpatine. Just like, unlimited power. And then, just.
Don't worry. We'll get into Palpatine because one of the films I've got on the list is is heavy Palpatine. Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes, sir.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so number 4 is not a sequel or a prequel really, but Jackie Brown. So this is Tarantino's third film. This is actually, I did not think about this, but my dad brought it up and I was like, that's a good idea. Tarantino's third film. Right, okay, well, I think it's pretty good.
You can talk about
it. Yeah, I would pull up my old review on it, but it's probably very outdated. But yeah, Jackie Brown.
How do you phrase it?
It's probably on the Instagram, man. It's probably It's probably like I think I gave it like a 9 out of 10, and I think it is a really strong film. You got some great performances. Michael Keaton's in it. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, Michael Keaton. Oh, okay.
Other people who are also there. So we're coming off Pulp Fiction, and as everybody knows, Pulp Fiction is what is generally considered to be Tarantino's masterpiece. Everybody, every hipster, everyone loves that film, and it had such a profound impact on the landscape of cinema in general. You can't do a film class without somebody mentioning Pulp Fiction. I literally studied it. It's a film, but Jackie Brown wasn't like Pulp Fiction at all. It wasn't even like Reservoir Dogs. It wasn't like action and gore. It was much more subdued. And I think there was a pushback against that because this isn't what people expected from Tarantino. And I think even like today, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, some people, really didn't like it because it's not what they kind of expect from Tarantino. It's not a big bombastic, like, gory, violent action thriller, but instead it's more of like a slice of life kind of thing.
Watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with the slice of life, I mean, that's interesting because what Tarantino intended to do with a love letter to the golden era of Hollywood, focusing on Rick Dalton and then Sharon Tate. It's an interesting mix, but I wish that, there's like a storyline within, because it's a bit hard to focus on so many subplots in one film. If you can do it well, like to focus on 2 characters, and that's good, like you're focusing on like different crazy things in one film, and that's definitely a slice of life. But in my opinion, I think, you need to branch out further things to create like a strong storyline.
It's difficult for a director to branch out and also maintain the best stuff about his other films. What was so good about Pulp Fiction and a lot of Tarantino films is that they kind of jumped around in the narrative, but it never got too expansive. It was never the case where too many things were happening at once. But I think you're right. I think that kind of does come into it a little bit in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
With Pulp Fiction, it's more definitely experimental with, jumping around with the narrative. It's really good. When it came out, it was like hugely influential to, calling back to the French New Wave.
I agree with that. But I think definitely, going from that to Jackie Brown, Tarantino was known as the guy who did this one thing, and now we're doing another thing, and it wasn't as popular at all. People don't discuss it in the same breath as other Tarantino films. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards, they might be the main ones that people might talk about. Things like Jackie Brown and Death Proof, they kind of, even like The Hateful Eight, kind of, go under the rug a little bit because they still have the same flair of dialogue and stuff that, Tarantino is really good at, but they kind of go under because they're not genre breaking. They're not kind of what mainstream audiences want out of a Tarantino film. But I think that's a shame because I think there are some really good things in those films.
Yeah, and if you find like breaking a new genre or like mixing all things together, like to like create a new idea, and then you try to challenge and create something new, like Denis Villeneuve did with Sicario, Arrival. Like if you told me that this is the same director who did these, and you're like, no, I couldn't tell because these are completely different genres. And that's what makes it so exciting for those filmmakers, that they can try and break new things.
It almost becomes to the detriment of the filmmakers if they become proper auteurs. If a filmmaker makes something that breaks through and it's so popular that when they make the next thing, it's dangerous. It's like Hitchcock being known for thrillers and twists. And then when he makes a more psychological and critical film like Vertigo, huge backlash.
Yeah,
And,
huge. I saw it. And
yeah, exactly. And I think that's what happened with Tarantino. I think Jack and Brown it just wasn't as good. Next on the list is Age of Ultron and End Game. Now, I've picked these two Avengers films specifically because Age of Ultron is coming after the first Avengers and End Game's coming after Infinity War, which I think are both incredible.
Yes.
Some of the best comic book films ever made, demonstrates culmination of the MCU done in the best possible way. But I think Endgame's great as well. I think Age of Ultron's fine. It's not that good. It's really nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, like, you're watching like the first Avengers, like, oh my god, what are they doing with the whole thing? I guess it's a bit slow, but oh my god, like the final bit, like the whole battle of New York. Wow, this could be a really good step. And then you got Ultron, you got teeth.
He does have teeth. It's true.
Oh god. I want to erase that. But like the most annoying thing is that they couldn't like find more time to do with Ultron, because this is literally the name of the title, Age of Ultron. And in the comics, he was a bit more mischievous, well, not mischievous. Yes, a mischievous person. Like throws and
he's basically Loki. He's the robot god of tricks.
Yes, but in the comics, he's a bit more, devastating, what he's doing. And in What If, I can't believe we have to go to What If, but in What If, he just has the Infinity Gauntlet and then just like destroyed an entire universe.
Apparently, What If Season 2 has been taken off the 2022 Marvel slate. So thank God we don't have to watch What If Season 2 this year.
Thank God.
Yes.
We don't have to get more that guy who kept saying Baba Yaga. Oh no, the Baba Yaga.
Oh my God. Kurt.
Yeah.
My favorite character. You remember Kurt?
Wow.
Remember Kurt from Ant-Man? The funniest guy. Remember those characters? Absolute beautiful comic relief. I definitely
remember the guy who talked really fast.
Yeah, Luis. Yeah, we're Ant-Man. We'll have to do that someday. When Ant-Man 3 comes out, we're gonna have to watch it. I'm very sorry. But yeah, like it's the same thing. A lot of these films are the first film changed the game for the genre, and the next film, everybody wanted it to do the same thing, and it wasn't up to scratch. And this is the same. Avengers proved that superhero team-ups could work, and damn it, they proved that it could be amazing. And Age of Ultron wasn't that. Weirdly enough, it was more of the same. It went so much further with the stuff that worked that it lacked some of the heart. And it began the phase of the MCU being so much more quippy, and I don't think it bode well. And then Infinity War did the same thing. It made a Marvel film that was daring and devastating. And then Endgame, while I think Endgame is really, really good, I don't think that it was up to scratch. I think that in so many different ways, it failed, with some characters and visually. Fan service, it's got fan service down, and it's a really good ending for various characters. But I think that, I think those films, maybe only in my mind, but there were so many expectations, they didn't quite meet the quota.
Yeah, and it was exploring the weirdest stuff, like, with the relationship between Natasha and Hulk.
God damn it. I hate that. I hate it so much.
Why?
So stupid.
There's no need to be a love relationship. I'm sorry.
There really isn't.
What's the point? To sell the movie even more?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It was a stupid decision for both the characters. The only romantic relationship you needed in Age of Ultron was with Clint and his family, because that was important.
Yeah, and I just wish that they just focused more on Ultron. Like, make it better and then make him look more terrifying.
They cast James Spader as Ultron, and they just had him be an evil Tony Stark. What a waste.
Like, the guy's voice acting is great as Ultron.
Definitely.
Like, he was just so wasted there. Like,
the scene where he comes out for the first time and he makes the speech to the Avengers about being a puppet, and then like all of his other bots like attack them. I think that was great.
That was
But
great.
after that, he becomes a quip machine talking about omelets. Yeah, he talks about omelets. He's like,
He's
you
just
never
talking
made an
about
omelet, and
omelets.
it's like, have you made an
Hey
omelet? You're a
guys,
robot.
hey guys,
Why would
do
you
you
make an
know about
omelet?
omelets? Do you know
Yeah.
about omelets?
You ever hear about
Like,
you ever hear of omelets, guys? I
omelets?
know I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
kill you, but
Uh,
let's have a
uh,
conversation about omelets.
oh yeah, omelets. I'm a robot, but I want to try omelets. What
Just a
was that
waste,
film?
man. Just a
Oh
waste.
god. Oh, and then Captain
Next.
America even tried to fight Ultron. But have you seen that meme? You're like, if you feel stupid, just remember what Captain America tried to do with Ultron. Like he was choking him.
Was he? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Come on, Steve. Steve,
Come
you're
on,
better than
Steve.
that, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Come
You
on,
could do
man.
better with that shield, mate.
What accent is that?
I don't
Come on,
know.
Steve.
Australian, I
I mean, that's
guess.
that's definitely an Australian accent if I've ever heard one. Next on the
Oh wow.
list is The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So, first of
Oh.
all, I want to
Oh,
say I love The Last Jedi and I hate The Rise of
Okay.
Skywalker.
Can I say first things? I actually loved the Last Jedi. I thought it was a bit
Nice.
more. Yeah, because when I think about it a bit more, I feel like this is different, and I like it. You know what they're trying to do, and it kind of ruined the character of Luke a bit more. I think like Mark Hamill was a bit devastated about the character of Luke. Yeah, I was so devastated then. But you know what they're trying to do was a bit different, and then there was some bits that I didn't like, but I loved it. It was so different.
Yeah, I love Last Jedi. I don't share Mark Hamill's criticisms of Luke. I like what they did with the character. But Force Awakens, the reason why Force Awakens isn't here is because the hype was unreal. Everybody was so excited and everyone loved it. Don't lie. Yes,
I
they
think
did.
everyone loved it.
Like The Force Awakens.
Everyone loved
Yeah,
it.
okay. People criticize it now, but people loved it at the time, you know?
Yeah.
People expected a film that would make them feel like what they felt with the original trilogy, and boom, they got it. And I still think there's a lot of good stuff in that. Now, The Last Jedi, after 2 years of speculation, after 2 years of expecting answers, who is Snoke, who is Rey, what's all this thing? And they dropped all of that and they went in a different direction. And the expectation was something that we had to get over. Yeah, I had to watch it 3 times at the cinema before I could truly get over that.
I had to watch it 2 times. And the second time was more enjoyable, to be honest, like knowing what to do. And my God, I remember the internet was going crazy for those animals. I forgot the name, man.
Oh, yeah, the Favias. Yeah. that whole subplot, people, I mean, hey, I still see Last Jedi hates on my timeline at least once a day, if not more.
Once a day.
And it's just like
there's one person just like, you do remember Last Jedi? I hate it. You know, I'll put it in the trash bin and then I put it on light of fire.
Not my Luke. They ruined Star Wars. Yeah, that's like all it was.
Chewbacca. Where's Chewbacca? So.
Oh no, yeah, biggest thing the sequels ever did. Chewbacca does nothing, and I will die on that hill. They wasted him as a character. Boo,
and
0 out of 10.
Ate one of the animals.
He ate a porg. He ate a bloody porg. Oh god, the marketing for the porgs. Now that killed me. Remember the porgs? Do you remember all the trailers had porgs in? My god.
Yes. Oh my god, like they'll show you like with a lightsaber. Have you seen the edited one? Like they would touch the lightsaber and then
standing on the lightsaber. Oh yes.
Oh god.
Headcanon.
The internet was going crazy. Like I asked my friends at my school at the time, and they were like, "Hey, you know Last Jedi?" And like, "Oh, don't tell me about the porgs. Don't tell me about them, please, please, do not." I was like, "Okay," and like, well, Chewbacca ate one of them, and then they just got really mad about it. And I remember one guy who got a porg and then just destroyed it because he hated the film.
My god, yeah. I remember it was an early day of college. I went in and I was wearing the t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. Actually, that's weird. My Last Jedi t-shirt, and someone came up to me and said, "Why are you wearing that sacrilegious t-shirt?" And I was there just like, "Oh no, he's one of those people." And we just had a discussion about Last Jedi, and honestly, it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Joe.
Oh, it does sound like a Joe thing to say. Sorry, Joe, if you listen.
It was somebody else who I think left before. He was in the year above and left before you got there, unfortunately. But we had this huge conversation, and the whole time he was just like, every single thing he said, I was like, no, but that's the point. And he was like, yeah, but, and I'm like, no, that's the, like, do you not see what they're trying to do? That's literally, they're trying to like make you question these things and question the very nature of Star Wars. And I think that some of the criticisms about Last Jedi are valid, but I think people took it too far, and
Yeah.
people hated it so much that we got Rise of Skywalker. Oh boy. Oh boy, did we get Rise of Skywalker.
Right, okay, so funny story. We actually loved Rise of Skywalker the first time.
Oh, when you say funny story, do you mean really, really depressing story?
Yeah, depressing. Okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
wanted to change it because we've just been talking about this Star Wars thing, but okay, so right. So I went to see it first night showing.
Yeah, me too.
And like I loved it. It was cool.
Mhm.
And then I went to see a second time with Tom the day after.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
mate.
we loved it. And then okay. Oh, this sounds really sad. We actually teared up when they were celebrating at the end.
Don't remember. Honest. Okay, so I went to see it with a friend on the midnight showing. We got so
midnight show. Oh,
we
God,
we both cried, and we had an amazing experience. And hey, I still maintain that it was one of the best cinema experiences that I've ever had. You know,
Okay.
when we did our
You
best
can't take
cinema
away from
experiences
that.
episode on the
Yeah,
pod,
you can't take away from
I
that.
didn't
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Rise of Skywalker, but I should have talked about it. And then I saw it again with you, and then I saw it the next day with another friend, and then the next day with my parents. I saw it 4 times in 5 days, John. I saw it 4 times in 5 days. It was ridiculous.
The sad thing is that sounds like you've seen this film more than anything that like seen in the cinema. Like
I have.
I went. Wait, have you? What other films have you seen the most in the cinema? Like
Rise of Skywalker is the film that I've seen the most at cinema.
Oh,
I've seen loads of films 3 times. I saw Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Days of Future Past, Avengers. I saw all them 3 times, but Rise of Skywalker, no, it was 4 times.
I went to see Infinity War twice, and then End Game twice.
Me too. I only saw End Game once. Did you see Age of Ultron?
That's so
3
weird.
times?
That's so weird. Like like you go to the cinema and then you saw it like couple of days after, and then you're like, oh my God, wow. Like hopefully I can do that with the Batman, because I haven't seen any films repeated since.
But I feel like Rise of Skywalker for me wasn't ruined by expectations. If anything, I had so many expectations that
Same.
I was blinded, and I loved it.
Oh,
and then I came back to it 1 year later, and I was like, oh no. And I feel like the reason why Rise of Skywalker doesn't work is the collateral damage from The Last Jedi. And I feel like every single one of the sequels had such expectation that they all fell down, and we never got the trilogy we deserved.
Yeah,
Big shame.
It's so sad. Like, you're just watching the film, and then you're like, oh, can this get any better? But then, why did I remember it so good at the opening night and the day after? And then
recency bias. Next film is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, we both love this film.
What?
Bear with me. However, after 4 years of hype and Zack Snyder basically telling us every single thing that was going to happen, there was nothing that could meet my expectations. And I don't think they did. I still believe that if I rewatch this film, I will like it a lot more. But when I first watched it, I didn't, because I liked it, but it wasn't what I wanted because I expected so much. And I think the fact that just Zack Snyder's Justice League is so similar in some ways in the plot structure to Justice League, that it really makes you feel kind of unfulfilled. And I feel that's what I had for a short while for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just gotta say that.
Okay. To be honest, I wasn't really disappointed with anything because I knew what the film was set out to be at the time. It was like really, hyped. And I had kind of like my expectations low because you know what to do, because nowadays I'm just like low expectations, but apart from Batman, because Batman looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, but for me, I'm just like containing my excitement for expectation, because for me, on the outside I just look like a really sad person just like trying to think about the films, like, yeah, that's gonna look great. And then whenever there's like a really good trailer, like Matrix, I'll be like, oh my god, this looks amazing. And then
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when Zack Snyder Justice League came out, they released all these character teasers. They released all these trailers that showcased Darkseid and Martian
statues,
Manhunter. Yeah, exactly.
Deathstroke was going to be, Deathstroke was in the film.
Exactly.
So.
And I watched it and I was like, okay, what is this film going to do? What is it going to tell me I didn't already know? And it didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. And I expected it to, and it didn't. And that's my fault for watching all the trailers and stuff. But it did ruin it slightly for me.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I really wish that I didn't watch the trailers. Like,
me too.
On February 14th last year, the trailer came out. I was like, oh my god, this looks devastating. This looks like a new thing. But like, I kind of wish that we didn't see the Justice League.
If I could change time, I would literally go back in time, give my younger self a version of the Blu-ray, and just be like, watch that one. Don't watch this.
And
shit.
then share
Don't watch that.
Like, share this film to everyone that you know, and it's not pirated. And then that.
Did you hear about Justice League? Did you hear the news?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Justice League is canon.
That was a very long side.
That's okay. For those of you who don't know, Justice League is canon to The Flash, to the main DCEU. And this could mean a whole host of things. This could mean that they really are doing the Snyderverse in a different universe. But God, that makes me so upset. Makes me so upset, man. Like,
why? Geez. I just don't know why, Joss Whedon decides to like put the blame on everyone, even though he did this whole film to himself. Like, and just decided to like, oh yeah, Ray Fisher's a really bad actor. I'm like, what? For
the record, no, he isn't. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. But
it's a whole shit show.
That's your description there. I don't know how to describe it. That's what I can do.
Yeah. Next one on the list is The Hobbit. Now, I haven't watched The Hobbit in a long time, and I love it. And I recently bought myself.
Number one?
No, just the next one. Just the next one. This is in no particular order. No particular order. Just doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But
sorry. I thought you liked The Hobbit.
Fuck The Hobbit. No, I loved The Hobbit when it came out. I haven't seen it in so long. I recently bought myself a box set of all 6 of them. So The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in extended edition. So I'm going to be watching that sometime this year before the new TV show The Rings of Power, which is coming out in September, which is the Amazon Lord of the Rings show, which is really exciting. But yeah, it's safe to say The Lord of the Rings is the greatest trilogy of all time. It just is. I think Lord of the Rings is incredible. Also, I'm playing the Lego game at the moment. It's the best. I'm playing the Lego game, and it is the best. And I haven't played it in years, and I feel fulfilled in my soul. I'm so happy. Also, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga looks amazing.
I saw the trailer.
Yes. Comment below if you want to see me and John play it. I would genuinely do that. We should like that. I want that to happen. We do like a walkthrough. That'd be so much fun.
Like talking about like the first like flashbacks of playing for the first few games of
the complete saga. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I recently played Lego Indiana Jones, and I 100% completed it, and I had so much fun, man. Oh, I just thanks Lego games. Pirates of the Caribbean, the best one in my opinion. So good.
I agree. Finally, someone agrees with me. Some people said, "Oh yeah, DC superheroes," or like,
no.
It's
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lego's Pirates of the Caribbean. That's where the most creative stuff that happened in that. Listen,
yeah, man.
like
100%.
Oh my god, like so many characters. Like the most hidden character. What was the hidden character?
Oh, wasn't it Voodoo Captain Jack?
Yes. You told me that. Yeah.
He was the final guy. Yeah. Well, recently, just after Christmas, I bought myself Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, Lego Batman 1, Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. And I've been playing through them all. Started with Indiana Jones, now in Lord of the Rings. I'm in heaven, man. I am in heaven. This is the greatest time of my life. I've peaked as a human playing Lego games every night. The Hobbit, another great Lego game, by the way. I think The Hobbit's great. I don't think it's perfect, and I think why the hell are we making 3 films out of a book that could be turned into 1 or 2 films? But the point being, it just didn't capture the same magic as Lord of the Rings, and everyone was excited for it. And the first one grossed $1 billion, and you can see that each film got less and less popular. It was
Yeah.
it's such a popular book, such a popular Lord of the Rings trilogy, and The Hobbit it wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah, not enough. But yeah, I can't remember. Like, I guess there was a lot of
Hmm.
stuff into the first Hobbit. Like, are we talking
Well,
about the trilogy in general, or
yeah, just the trilogy in general.
Oh, okay, it's good. Yeah, I like. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
we're
it was
gonna
like
we're gonna do The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings before The Rings of Power comes out on Amazon, which is in September. So somewhere over the summer, we're gonna watch both trilogies. You can borrow my extended editions if you want.
I think I got my own trilogy. It's the
Oh,
DVD
perfect.
ones.
Oh yeah, fine. They're not extended, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. I had them, and then
Okay.
I was like, I need the extended editions, so I bought those ones instead because
Oh, you're collecting all those extended editions and just like,
oh mate,
yeah.
but yeah. Next on the list, the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels, especially 4 and
Oh,
5.
oh no, oh no. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 and 5. The first 3, cinema. Like, I mean, the sequel, I guess. Like,
Especially the first one. I think the first one is
yeah, the
far
first
and
one.
away the best.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
I'm just remembering now. No, it's not the first 3. It's the first one that was like, yes.
I think the second 2 are good, but I think the bad ones are 4 and 5. Like, God. Unless it's the Lego game. The Lego game's
Yes,
great.
unless it's a Lego game, and Lego game makes everything better.
Yes. Somehow the first one was like, we're making a movie based on a theme park ride, and it was amazing. They put so much effort into it. And I think that after that, it just became less and less about the story. It became more cynical. It was, more about making money. And I just don't think that it worked.
Yeah, I just feel like that. What they were gonna do with the stories, like it just felt a bit dry with the stories. It's Pirates of the Caribbean that isn't dry because of the it's in the ocean and funny joke. Anyway,
John, that was so bad that I'm gonna leave Pirates of the Caribbean alone forever now.
oh, okay.
Next one. We're not. That was the worst joke you've ever said.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Next one. No. We're not gonna. We're gonna pretend like that never happened. Next one. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now I'm excited for Indiana Jones 5.
Wait,
Genuinely.
skipping Pirates of the Caribbean
We're
already?
skipping it. It's it. It's not happening. It's not happening anymore. That's
so
it.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
You've ruined everything.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
This is also the final episode of the podcast. That's it. We're not doing it
No!
anymore. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm excited for number 5, Indiana Jones 5. But after the original Indiana Jones trilogy, Spielberg says, I'm making a 4th Indiana Jones film. And everyone gets excited. And I don't think it's terrible, but it's just so not what the first 3 are. It introduced these wild concepts. You got Indiana Jones kid and action sequences that go too far and concepts that feel like they are really, really struggling. It's just not as good in so many ways.
No, like it just went a bit too far, I guess, with like some of the stuff that they were trying to aim for.
But I also think that, again, regular audiences expected the film to be just like the other 3, but it wasn't going to be that. This is an older Indiana Jones. This is the 60s instead of the 30s and the 20s. And I think that it captured a lot of those things really, really well. But yeah, I don't think that it's as good as the others. But I do hope that James Mangold will make a good 5th film.
Oh, yeah. The guy's got great directing films. Like he directed Logan, Wolverine,
Le Mans 66.
Oh yeah, Le Mans. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a great film. That I remember watching it. Oh, when did it come out? Did it come
2019.
out?
2019.
That was a good time. And I was watching it. I was like, yeah, yes.
Oh mate. Anyway, Belfast is out of the cinema now. Watch it. Everybody watch it. My God, cinema.
Yes. I saw the trailer. I was like, wow, that's cool. And
yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, Licorice Pizza. I saw that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I think on Tuesday. I'm gonna see it. So sometime this week. But yeah, great. Next one on the list: Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, This is where I think the Star Trek
Uh,
films, the new ones, I think the first one was so clever because it integrated the new and the old of Star Trek, and it rebooted the franchise while also recognizing the past. Whereas Star Trek Into Darkness, it just repeated the plot of Star Trek 2. Have you seen Star Trek 2?
yes, Into Darkness.
I mean, like Wrath of Khan, the original
Oh,
Star Trek 2.
oh, wait, really? Oh, I thought you were talking about the new ones.
No, wait, okay, wait. I'm talking about the new ones, but have you seen the original Star Trek 2?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I haven't.
So Into Darkness is just the same plot as the original. You know how at the end, spoilers, Kirk dies and Spock.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And
I know what
Spock's like,
happened.
Khan! Remember that?
Khan.
In the original film, Spock dies and Kirk yells, Khan!
Yes.
Yes. They just repeated it. Okay, that wasn't quite as impactful as I hoped it would be, but I think it was no longer fresh at that. And I love Star Trek Beyond, and I love the first Star Trek, but I think Into Darkness just kind of it really went dark, and it all fell flat because it was relying on things from years ago, and I think that it was J.J. Abrams at his worst. Well, almost at his worst because of Rise of Skywalker.
J.J. Abrams, like he did some good films, like Cloverfield.
He did Cloverfield?
Did he produce? Yeah, he did Cloverfield.
I don't think he directed that. Did he?
I think he produced it. But let me check. J.J.
It's Matt Reeves, John. It's Matt Reeves. It's bloody Matt Reeves.
Wait, what?
Matt Reeves directed Cloverfield. Yes.
No way. He did not. He did not.
Yeah.
Wait, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Dan Trachtenberg.
And who did the Cloverfield Paradox?
You're asking too many questions. The Cloverfield Paradox, directed by Julius Ona. Don't know who that is.
Oh my God, 3 different directors. And the first one, who directed... Oh my God.
Oh, John, you know what I watched last night? I watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And tonight I'm going to watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And I'm going to do the whole trilogy before the Batman comes out.
Yes, those are great films, like masterpieces.
Really
like, and with Matt Reeves, he might be one of those rising directors right now. Just like I mean, with the trilogy, that was so good. So
he didn't even direct them all. He didn't direct the first one.
Yeah, I know, but he directed like first and the third one, the second and the first.
Yeah,
second and the third one.
Yes, he did. Okay, final 2. This is all gone wrong, John. Quantum of Solace and Spectre. Now, this is similar to Age of Ultron and End Game. Casino Royale and Skyfall changed everything. They were some of the best Bond films ever made. And then the next films, and I think Quantum of Solace is good. Spectre, not so much. But I think after those 2 amazing films, the next films were very underwhelming.
Yes. Oh my God. Like Spectre and Quantum Solace. Like, I guess there was a lot of stuff that happened in those films, but then it just felt like they just plummeted down. Like you were expecting something, then it just went nowhere. To be honest.
Yeah.
You didn't know what was going to happen with Madeline. Is it Madeline? Yeah, isn't Madeline?
Yeah, Madeline.
Spectre? Yeah, Madeline. And then
No Time to Die basically saved everything that Spectre did to the Daniel Craig James Bond series. I think No Time to Die saved it.
Yeah, No Time to Die, one of the best films I've seen last year, and like how they just made the films a lot better. Well,
Definitely.
Not a lot better, but like in terms of story, what they're trying to do and how to improve it. So
it brought it all back together and tied it up with a neat little bow.
Yeah, and yeah. Just perfectly like that. And then Quantum Solace, I don't even know what happened in that film.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think Quantum of Solace, I think it's a lot better than we remember it being. Like,
yeah, tell me. Yeah, tell me.
It's not like Casino Royale at all, but it's a more considerate character study of Bond as a character and the losses that have affected his life and his own feeling of worthfulness. And I think it's really good, but the action is shockingly bad. So, if that's what you want in a James Bond film, you are going to feel a little bit unfulfilled in that regard.
Yeah. So, is that all the films?
That's all the films, man.
Wow.
What a week. What a bloody
What?
week.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed it, you leave a like. I mean, yeah, we've gone to realms of yeah.
Yeah, we just went to
We've
the films
definitely
that
spoken about films right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe if you want to see more. We did The Matrix last
Yes.
week, and we've done loads of films recently, and we're gearing up for some good stuff. We're going to be talking about Batman, Uncharted,
Woo.
Book of Boba Fett, some really,
Yeah.
really exciting things. And hopefully next week we're going to do The Kingsman. That is if you can watch it, John. So if not, we'll
Yes.
probably do the Uncharted games, but hopefully we get to do Kingsman.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully
yeah,
you watch all of that. Yeah.
yeah. I've got like half of Uncharted 4 left, so that's where I'm at. And yeah, so if you want to follow us anywhere, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Alstine Film Pod, or email us with your thoughts on any of the films. Were they ruined by expectations for you? Do you think that John is funny? Because I know that he isn't.
I'm sorry.
After that horrible joke, I have to edit this now. I have to listen to that joke again.
No, please, please.
You can.
Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it, please.
No, John. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. You can email us at outlinefilmpod.
It's funny how that you won't give any
gmail.com.
criticism to Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
Pirates of the Caribbean is a masterpiece. What are you on about? All five of them, especially Salazar's Revenge. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's great because
Tom,
it
calm
has
down.
CGI. It has CGI Johnny Depp.
Joke.
Ah!
Please, I'm so sorry. But release the Tom opinion Pirates of the Caribbean films, please. Yes.
I'm gonna make my own YouTube channel now. My rival YouTube channel just about Pirates of the Caribbean. It's gonna be a 78 part series about why the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean film.
That's 78. More episodes than Rick and Morty.
Did you know that this is our 74th podcast?
It doesn't feel like it.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's very strange. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Take us out. Let's.
I'm sorry for that horrible joke. I'm good with jokes, but then that was just like I tried to connect it with the sea. Like it's a dry.
I know what you tried to do, John. I know what you tried to do. It did. I mean, yeah. Well done.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, everyone. Please, I'm not funny as. Wait, who's funny?
The Queen.
Okay, the Queen.
Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes, she makes the corgis laugh. Haha.
That's how corgis laugh. Haha. They're so posh that they can't.
It's so posh. Come on, like they get the tea and then get the comforts and just
it's all they eat. It's true. It's all they eat.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
That's all they eat. That's all the crumpets eat.
I thought I misheard anything because I thought you were speaking like in the most British accent. You're like, all they eat, and I didn't hear what you said. You're like, wait, what?
Sure they eat, governor. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, there we go. So thank you for listening. This was
a mistake.
Interesting. I mean, a mistake.
It was a big mistake.
We're it's spiraling down to depression because of the films that we talked about. Yeah, but if you enjoyed it, our suffering and pain alike.
Who doesn't enjoy our suffering and pain? Let's be honest right now.
We don't know if anyone's going to comment. Anyway, yeah, thank you for listening. Wear your mask in the cinema, get vaccinated, and yeah, be safe.
Yeah.
Take what you're given.
Did you forget that bit? You're like, is there something else I'm supposed to do right now?
Something else? This is not in the script. Oh no, this is the word that we have to okay.
We should probably make a script. It's probably we'll just read from it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Alta Time Film Podcast. My name is Tom and today I am joined with John. I can't read that. It's just John.
Yeah. Okay. And then okay, John says woo. Whoa. Yeah. Hey guys, it's me.
Enthusiasm. Acting.
It says shout really loud and make terrible jokes. I'm funny.
Yeah. It's true.
Okay, we just stop now. We just stop now. Okay. All right. I'll take it out. Right. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.